On today's video, we will discuss the value of time and how it relates to investing in Magic the Gathering. Hi everyone, welcome back. MTG Moxman here, and thanks a lot for hanging out with me on my channel today. I get asked this question a lot about sealed product. Is this the one I should be buying? Is this a good investment of my money? Now, that's what we're going to cover today, but we're also adding in the most important part of any sealed product investing, the value of time. How long it takes you to actually turn a profit and what you're going to do to make that profit happen for yourself. Anyone who is investing in Magic, the first mistake I find most people make nowadays is they don't realize how long it takes for a sealed product to really make you money, flip it up and up and up. But understand, people like Rudy at Alpha Investments will always say, I like a 5% return, a 6% return. That's great. Breaking that down in terms though, you could go 7 years not seeing a product change at all, and then it spikes up by $300 a box the following year. And yes, that will average out to that 7-8% a year over and over and over. You never know when sealed product is going to move upwards. Understand that. It's not going to have a little barometer bar guaranteeing a certain level of investment. There's no dividends that are going to be paid out if you hold this long term. It's cardboard. It can go to zero. This type of investing is risky. It's speculative. But the good news is, the examples I will share with you today show that it can be done. It has worked very well for me in the last 10, 12 years, and it can for you if you're willing to make those kind of sacrifices to make it happen. Okay? Number one, you have to have disposable income, guys. This cannot be money you're taking out of a mortgage payment. It can't be a line of credit or a credit card. It can't be sitting there, because any sealed product takes a very long time to mature to any type of value where you can make some profit off it. There's also a few things to consider. How fast you have to sell it. Magic is not known for its liquidity. It is not instant liquid where you can just cash it in and exchange, get your cash out and walk away. The faster you have to sell it, the less you have to be willing to accept to make that sale happen. You cannot be stiff and rigid about your price. Oh, it's going for 700. I want 700. That's not how it's going to work out for you unless you're willing to wait until nobody else has it for 700. You're the only one left, and then eventually somebody buys it a year or two down the road. Understand that. The more popular products tend to be opened more, but they had higher print runs. That kind of stuff can factor into how long it takes for your product to go up, which again is the value of time. Patience is just so important. When you're look in the background. Look at what I have back there. Patience. Patience is the number one key I can tell you. Patience. Now, when you're looking for examples of how this will work, let me pop this up for you here. Here we have Theros, okay? When you're taking a look at Theros here, I bought it in 2013 for $99.99. Now, I'll admit, I bought a couple on sale that were cheaper, and I think I bought a couple a year or two later at like 104. The prices were just around this time starting to change. I think it was 2014 they really made the shift. But that's what I paid on my spreadsheets that I have, so that's what I put up there. In 2022, these boxes are $230 Canadian. So my rule of double applies right now. I like that rule of double. I want to make double my money. But remember, you're going to have fees, you're going to have shipping costs, all that will get factored in. And if you're using things like eBay now and stuff, you got to deal with taxes. Right? Like, people have to pay like the taxes and stuff. Like in the States, it gets kind of crazy, guys. Understand your margins and how much you're willing to take as a hit. If you want to make a quick sale in this box, you're looking at $190 or less. Well, that's less than the rule of double, isn't it? And you haven't even paid your eBay fees. Remember that stuff. Would I still make money on this box? Sure I would. Sure I would. But I've been holding this box for 12, 13 years, right? Oh, sorry, 2013, 10 years I've had this box. It is not matured to the point, in my estimation, where I can sell them. Even though the rule of double applies for me, I'm looking at saying, that's not going to be enough money. That is not going to be enough to make it worth my while. So I'll tell you right now, I would not be selling my boxes. I'll be sitting on them a lot longer. I'll let other people sell them. These things still get cracked open once in a while. I'll save them for patron events. It's not worth it for me to go through the effort and trouble to list it, sell it, find a reliable buyer, go to a store, ship it out to them with tracking and insurance. Guys, look at me rubbing my eyes. It's a nightmare. It has to be worth your while. Patience. You're not just going to sell it because it starts going up. You got to make sure it's worth your while. It's not as if we're buying thousands of boxes of this and there's sellers just waiting around the corner, right? This isn't like a candy stand and it's a new flavor of candy from Willy Wonka and everybody wants some. It's just not the way it works, okay? It takes time. And you have to undercut every other seller out there, which is why the quick sale is important. How low can you go? What are you willing to accept? Now, when we take a look at the next one here, here we have Cons of Tarkir. 2015, I paid $99.99. I bought multiple boxes of this. I love the fact that fetch lands were in there. I remember going to the pre-release, having a great time. When you look at here in 2022, this box is $280. We got some serious profit here. $180 a box, give or take. But then we minus all the fees, all the shipping, all those costs. You're an investor here. You are trying to make sure you maximize your profit and minimize your losses. You might try to sell locally, find somebody on a local group, meet them outside of a store or something, somewhere in public, somewhere you trust. Nobody's going to somebody's house. Nobody's going somewhere scary, somewhere public. Quick sale is $220. I know, you just lost $60 on a quick sale, plus you still have to pay all your fees and stuff. But the rule of double gets in there and you will walk away with about $100 a box, maybe a little bit higher. I, again, would not be selling my box yet. I will let other people whittle their boxes out another 10 years if I have to. I've already bought them. I've already paid for them. They're in my inventory sheet. They are scratched clean. They've been paid for. Any bills I had are long since gone. They can sit there as long as I need them to. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that. How about this one, guys? Here we're showing you Avacyn Restored. I paid $109 Canadian. I bought them in 2013, which means they're already a couple of years old. In 2022, they're $400 a box. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? You're like, wow, it's like $300. But that quick sale is $315. $315 Canadian minus all the fees. I'm going to walk away with about $170 profit. That's still pretty good, right? That is not bad at all. But I want you to factor in something here. Boxes that get older had lower print runs. The acceleration rate on boxes before, right? Before we had the mass stuff of like, I want to say Ravnica, Return to Ravnica and stuff. These boxes are a little bit older. The foil is a little bit harder to get. These boxes are starting to accelerate quicker. You have to know the market you're dealing into. You would follow the market and look at all the sold listings on eBay. Check your local store, see what they're selling things for in case they actually happen to have some in stock. Sometimes they're not actually pricing things correctly, but other times you want to see what they sold at. If somebody sold one for $350 and you want to sell fast, the quick sale, you got to go way under that and be prepared to go under. Understand, have a bottom line. If I bought it for $109, what am I willing to accept? The lowest is probably $270. The absolute lowest I can accept if I was selling that box. And that's like fire sale. I have things that I have to pay or I'm going to lose my house. Because again, I've already paid for that. It's sitting on the inventory books and it waits as long as it has to wait. And that's what you have to factor in. Not every time is a good time to sell. There are periods of time when things become popular. Now, here we have Dominaria United. This is the exception, not the rule. Understand that. Dominaria was $134.99 Canadian per box. I got some right at the end of production. I think it was 401 or Face-to-Face had a deal on Christmas time, and I bought a case with my leftover credit card money. Now in 2022, you can buy this box at a local store for $349.99 Canadian. Okay, $350. The quick sale is $250. I know, $100 less because they're still available in some stores, and people do have these boxes. And again, this box is accelerating because the exception here is it was a low print run, a known low print run. People still like to open these. People still like to crack them. There's bigger cards in this set now, like Mox Amber going through the roof right now. There are cards people want inside Original Dominaria, which will fuel the sales of this set going forward. And it also has something going for it that a lot of sets don't have. You find in a few sets like War of the Spark, right, is that nostalgic feel. wow, I love the video, I like what they did on YouTube, I like the set, it all fits well into people's minds and they want to buy it. In the future, when the players who are 17, 18, 19 years old look back on this, if they were at those pre-releases playing this set, bought a couple of packs, 10 years from now, when this is $1,000 and your quick sale is $600, you will make a lot of money because you bought it at $134. That is a massive markup, but it takes time and effort, and the value of time can never be underestimated. You got to be patient on this stuff. And the last one I want to share with you before we carry our conversation on, and that is Shards of Alara, $134.99. Bought it in 2012, going for around $950 right now, Canadian. Again, very small market available for this, but there's also only a small market of people buying this. So if you want to broaden your market out, the quick sale is $600. I know, you're taking a 32% haircut. Because if you need money fast, you've got to undercut everyone. And also, you want to have clear photos if you're using things like eBay. You want to clear multiple photos so that you're not trying to rip them off, and you better have 100% feedback. And the person you're selling to better have 100% feedback on these higher priced boxes. Because you go to a store, they're only going to offer you $450. Quick sale is $600 and change, and it will go up with a 30% haircut every time because you want to expose yourself to buyers who thought they could never afford it. If that box is $2,000, I would probably try to sell mine for $1,200 to try to attract people in and say, wow, this guy's selling it really cheap. He must really need the money. He's got 100% feedback. You have to look at that stuff. All these things, all these assets in the background, these are assets. I own them. They've been bought and paid for years. When I look at these, I look at what I bought them for, like a Battle for Zendikar, between $30 and $50 each one. $34.99 up to $50 for each one. If they're only going for $100, I can't sell them yet. I gotta wait 10 more years. Whatever it takes is what you have to wait. And even then, they may never go up. And if they don't go up, they sit in the background. Right? They just sit there looking pretty. Even if I wasn't on YouTube, these would just be sitting inside some boxes, taking up space in the basement or in the corner somewhere, and that's all they'd be doing, is waiting. Because this is a waiting game when you're investing in sealed boxes. You can get lucky with things like Dominaria, and that is the exception, not the rule, because these boxes don't have anybody telling you what they're worth. They're worth what somebody's willing to pay. And if you're going to take the risk of diving into sealed box collecting or sealed product investing in general for Magic the Gathering, which is already just a collectible card game that's already kind of speculative, you have to understand what you're getting into. And when things don't go your way, hopefully you have listened. This was disposable income you could afford to sit on. Like any other investment, you buy a stock, you don't flip stocks every day. Stocks are long-term investments. This is the same thing. You don't buy a stock and flip it a week later just because it goes up. You're holding it for 20, 30, 40 years. You're holding it for the end. It's a war of attrition. Those who held on the longest to see their stocks split, to see the dividends realized, to see a stock that was $20 go up to $1,000. Welcome to Magic stock market. There's a lot of people who collect this stuff. Not as many as there used to be with the price increases. You'll see a slight dwindling, but that doesn't mean that these will be worth more. That's not how it works. It is still the capitalistic environment you live in. We're there all the time. And since nobody sets the prices, nobody guarantees the value, this here is what somebody's willing to pay for it. Hence the quick sale price. Letting you know if you need to liquidate quickly, those are your best options to get your money out quickly. Guys, it's a risky world out there. And just because you like a product doesn't mean somebody else likes it. Just because you think it's worth money does not mean somebody else thinks it's worth that much. If I look here and say, okay, let's go with Gate Crash. I had fun with that set. That box is probably never leaving my collection because nobody liked Gate Crash that much. The same with Dragon's Maze, right? Fallen Empires. Those things took 30 years almost to finally gain some actual value. And even then, it's kind of, well, I don't know. You've got reserve list cards on it. I don't know, Mox, man. Really $1,000 for a box of Fallen Empires or Homelands? People see it as a major risk still. I may not, but they do. These are the things you have to factor in. And of course, always remember the time factor. the value of time is on your side. The more patient and laid back you are and realizing that these are never leaving you, 10, 15 years from now, when they actually have gone up in value, and you go, wow, I've been keeping a track on these. Every year or two, I take a look. Wow, you don't want to look every day. You'll just drive yourself nuts. Look every year or two, and you'll slowly sometimes see that appreciation happening on certain boxes you've bought. As opposed to, I look every day and go, nothing's changed, man. I'm not making any money. That is very short-term thinking. You're thinking long-term when you're thinking sealed product like this, years down the road. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Any questions you have, please make sure you leave in the comment section. I'll try to get back to you if I think it's a question I can answer for you. And remember, the best cards are the ones you enjoyed the most. The best sealed product are the ones you enjoyed playing the most. That's what I do. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Have a great day. In case you are unaware of what a patron is a person who financially supports another person. And the patrons of my channel are supporting me each and every day. Patrons rock! If you knew the future, you'd never make a mistake and life would get pretty dull. I don't know what's going to happen with my cardboard kingdom, but I know from real life experience, patience is key, the value of time always plays in, and it's a long game. There's a lot of innings to play, and it takes a very long time to get there. That's why so many people drop out and quit. Have a great day, everyone.